Same old crap in the same old crap, baby. Same old crap in the news. Yeah. Notice a common theme. Poor folks always lose. Don't care about free speech so much. Goes to show these motherfuckers are out of touch. Maybe they'll all get silenced for doing something wrong. Goddamn, I know every time I live stream, I'm gonna make up another song. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hypocrisy, hypocrisy, hypocrisy. Welcome. I am Jimmy Reefer Cake. I am potentially capable of being the greatest podcaster of all time. Listen closely. You will now be checking in here. We're going to check in to the live stream. It would be fortunate to have somebody show up. I will do the standard share to the Twitter following. That's right, Jimmy Reefer Cake on Twitter. So if you are in that category of Jimmy Reefer Cake on Twitter, you just got that news. Boom! Miss Strong is here. What's happening? Happy to have you. So I'm going to talk about hypocrisy. It's my favorite thing. I'm going to talk about Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, Sam Seder, more people. That guy, Jack Dorsey, who's the Twitter head of Twitter. I'm going to put it all together. I'm going to talk about the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club. Thank you, Ms. Strong. Lots of love for you. Sweet. I'm going to talk about those things. But first, I'd like to just say a quick note. If you've listened to the Jimmy Reefer Cake songs over the years, it wasn't too long ago I had a slew of Cranberry songs in the passing of Dolores O'Riordan. We're hitting into the week of St. Patrick's Day. We're also finding out the bad news. The bad news was that she died, but it was apparently related to alcohol, possibly drugs in her condition, being in a hot tub and dying. That's how that came out long after. It's very sad. Whenever this shit happens. Okay. But that doesn't mean the music can't live on and then the lyrics can be modified. Hypocrisy, 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 hypocrisy. Understand the things I know when it comes to hypocrisy, because I spent half my life out there using illegal weed. Do you see me? Do you see me? It's legal. Yeah, it's legal. What about down there? Do you notice? Do you know people like it? They like reefer. Does anyone care? Unhappiness. 'Cause when I was young, they said reefer was bad. No cannabis, only Nancy Reagan with her eyes so sad. My mother, she'd scold me. It was hard to bear. I told her I liked weed. Oh, I liked weed. Does anyone care? Does anyone care? Does anyone care? Does anyone care? Hypocrisy, hypocrisy, hypocrisy. Okay, guys, hypocrisy. So again, marijuana. Has anyone ever died from marijuana ingestion? All right, let's just keep that in mind as a hypocrisy that is just a living proof that alcohol consumed widely kills people, kills great people. It's also part of life. Alcohol is an enjoyable substance. And marijuana, on the other hand, does not kill people. So here we are, we're just, whatever. Rest in peace, Dolores O'Riordan. Let's move on. There you go, buddy. Miss Strong's gonna dab to her memory. That's good. So, dude, man, so good. So what we're talking about here is conspiracy madness, first of all right? There's been a conspiracy. There's been basically the conspiracy of like a Alex Jones, obviously, Joe Rogan. You see what's going on with them, first of all. There's almost a conspiracy that they may be just playing and pretending, but they had a huge fight and then they got together and podcasted. And it was hilarious. It was hilarious to listen to them and to the maniac that Alex Jones is. And Rogan's just there getting stoned and laughing because it's like a crazy man. So, yeah, I mean, and they're friends, okay? So it's like they're friends. At the end of the day, that they got back together. They're lovely friends. So Alex Jones came to the point, though, he admitted that he suffered from, if you listen to a lot of the shit that Alex Jones said, I believe that he is suffering from psychosis and certainly delusions of grandeur. And yet, you know, exaggerating, just the stories he tells. I don't even want to, won't even get into it again. It almost will, just thinking about it too much. But, you know, according to basically what let me summarize the conspiracy. Basically, it goes back to the fact that when you take some kind of a hallucinogen, maybe it's DMT, everybody sees these elves, okay? This is supposedly, they're thinking that maybe it's aliens. Kevin Martinez in the house. Take him to the ranch. I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, like that these elves appear and actually they're aliens communicating with us who, you know, it goes on and on. Imagine Alex Jones on Mr. Phil. Yeah. Larry Skywalker. What's up? So now we're getting it now. We got a crowd. Just cut. Reefer Kid goes out, it's like going to the street corner, and I start playing, and then a crowd gathers, right? What's happening, guys? Mr. Phil has a ranch. He sends... Yeah, Alex Jones, it's more than just misbehavior. He's mentally, it's in him. It really is. He's got a psychosis. He admitted he has a mild psychosis, but he believes he's a like a psychic prophet or something. He tells all these. He loves to get choked out. Alex Jones is always saying to this other guy, "Choke me out! Come on, Joe! Bro, just choke me out! Choke me out right now! Let's do it! We used to do it in high school all the time." And he's like, Rogan's like, no, everyone's like, you're saying it. But Alex says that they did it in high school, and he used to trip when he did it, and he'd see the elves. I think he'd see those same fucking elves. They're getting really, really crazy. So they are a couple of goofballs. And so then let's look at Sam Seder. How does he fit into this? Because I was thinking about it. I mean, now as these goofballs go through it, first of all, conspiracy theories, the hypocrisy of it. This is what I think, where you have many, many conspiracies that are true. That's why Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, so many internet people talk about them, because there's many true things. I mean, just think of anything that happens, almost like the whole Iraq war, almost any war. Conspiracies abound, you know, supposedly Russia conspiracy, supposedly, you know, Venezuela conspiracy with the police. They're always covering shit up. Conspiracy when we did some weird torture stuff, or conspiracy for the stealing of money, conspiracy for it's all there. I mean, it happens all the fucking time. There are these things. So just because someone who's has a mild psychosis, or someone who takes a lot of hallucinogens, like Joe Rogan, who enjoys it, they are going to kind of elevate it and get even further into it. But that doesn't take away from all the real conspiracies. Like the conspiracy that Hillary rigged the we all in our little world of politics, we know that the fucking DNC rigged the primary for Hillary against Bernie. And then they turn around and say, oh, Rogan is a big psychedelic guy. No, he's not a coke guy at all. And that's why he's kind of cool. Yeah, I know what you mean, though. Like these coke guys who are kind of tough guys. He would. But he's big on psychedelics. And that's why I like Rogan, for one reason there. So then we talk about Sam Seder. So I set it up, because this is the thing that I believe is that Sam Seder is used in a completely hypocritical manner, along with the whole ilk. I mean, so basically laughing off conspiracies, okay, or just dismissing something as being a conspiracy. They do it all the time. Like Seder, I know, obviously, like a conspiracy can be unsolved or whatever. Like, doesn't mean you shouldn't talk about it. And that would be the DNC rigging. And then after it comes out later, then we start to say, oh, well, that everybody knew that. That was the Seder hypocrisy there. Sam Seder hypocrisy also, okay, along with the whole crew. It's not anything that maybe they do it subconsciously. But what it is they dismiss stuff as a conspiracy if it fits their narrative, okay? Oh, was Rogan addicted to coke for a while back in the day? He might have been. We could find that out. Somebody search that. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think coke is really a problem because it winds you all up. Again, you got people dying. Like you get the heart attacks. So cocaine is a problem. We don't live in a world that makes sense. We don't have any logic to how that we do things. So that's why conspiracies abound. Even the fact that marijuana is illegal is a conspiracy. Okay? So someone would say, your conspiracy theory, to just dismiss it. I'm really tired of it. I'm tired of this whole bullshit, like, oh, this is a conspiracy, and then later, oh, we knew all along. What? No, you fucking minimized it when it needed the light. Then when it comes out later, you act like it's no big deal or something. Like, that's goes across the board. That's like fucking legalization right there. People are grown accustomed to things, and they are conspiracies. Every facet of there's always a group of people trying to get fuck up over other people, and then we call it a conspiracy because it's a secret. I think that there's a glaring problem where you have, I think that the right wing is taking over that space, along with like just basically, it's like in the liberal world they pick and choose their conspiracies. But I think there's a lot of them who would say, oh, it's conspiracy theory. Yeah. They just fucking put it down. The whole thing of it. It's just a simple dismissal. And, but then all of a sudden they will talk about the ones they want to. Oxygen control is everything. Oxygen control. So that's what, I mean, this is why that's why, like Seth Rich story, that's a conspiracy, right? But what happens when people are afraid to talk about it? And what do you do? But like at the moment that you have a candidate who people are literally not trusting and think that they're a part of an evil network that would kill people to retain power, that's just the perception of Hillary Clinton to a lot of people. That is simply their perception. You can't pretend that that kind of conspiracy isn't quite possible. Meanwhile, they'd want to talk about, focus on how Russia kills journalists. Then the next thing you know, Saudi Arabia has the Khashoggi kill, and so then it makes and obviously they're more brutal and it's more simply in the open and proven than the Russian dead journalist thing. So that's their conspiracy. I am done with this picking and choosing your conspiracy like a hypocrite. Like just saying, I don't think anyone should be written off as a conspiracy theorist, even Alex Jones, even Joe Rogan, because what does it matter? What does it matter? They could be written off. Go ahead, write them off. But it really doesn't matter at the end of the day, because that's not an effective statement for me. That's not an effective statement. Let's see. I would like to play another song. If I could find a good little tune here. Now, yeah, let's play this one. Okay. Okay, so this is a problem when I don't write my chords down with my lyrics, but shit. I gotta pick a different song. The one I'm looking for it's annoying. It's not coming up in my search. Anybody have any comments? I'm gonna check the comments here. Legalization. Oh, could be it. Here we go. Yes. Okay. Here we go, guys. All right. Any other statements here? Oh, cool. Thank you, Ms. Strong. Can't find anything on Google saying it was addicted. Yeah, to Coke. Joe Rogan is all right with me. See how I feel about the platforming thing? I'll talk about that another time. But this Twitter, people getting banned and all this stuff. I want to talk about that. This is the hypocrisy is the opening to the doorway where you see people banning the speech. Why would you have to ban speech? Why? There's no point. And then they say it's a fact. So I guess I'll just point out on that. Let's go to another Joe Rogan when he had Jack Dorsey, the Twitter guy, on, and also had this dude. I don't care, whatever his name is, some conservative, but kind of cool boy conservative, like decently cool, smart, but also you could tell he was a conservative dork. What's his name? Tim Pool. He's playing the putting the pressure on Twitter. But again, the Twitter, everybody's acknowledging this. They're saying that the left, or the so-called, I can't define it, liberals, is that what they call it? Maybe they said left, right. But the one side, they say, all wants more policing, more silencing of speech, more people banned, etc. The other side is which is the right wing, clearly. At least they have a clear identity, and they're evil because they support Trump. I mean, that's shouldn't go that far, but they have issues with their support. But they do stand for free speech. Why give up that ground? What is the problem with these fucking little babies who want to? Tulsi is against regime change in Venezuela, yeah, for sure. So I think that means pro-Maduro, right? Yes, sir, Larry Skywalker. Tulsi is very against regime change. And, yep. So anyway, the hypocrisy, okay, the lies, the lack of freedom, the selling, the giving up of the ground by the giving up of ground to right wing by hypocrites of the nature of Sam Seder. They want to, instead, they want to fuel the fire and try to shut down speech, or they want to fuel the fire and put people down. We can do both ways. Put down Jimmy Dore for being too green. Put down libertarians for being too corporate friendly or too greedy, right? Green and greedy, put both of them down. But you don't appreciate the freedom. You don't appreciate the freedom. Or you don't appreciate legalization, for example. Free. There's no money. It doesn't cost anything. Two politicians telling lies. Don't do it. Don't do it. Inject your soul with liberty. It's free. It's free. To police handing out fines. Don't do it. Don't do it. Prohibition isn't free. Prohibition isn't free. Legalization, legalization, legalization is free. Legalization, legalization, legalization is free. You grow it, you smell it, you see it, you love it, you smoke it, it's reefer. It should be legal, and that's gonna solve problems, unless you're a hypocrite. Hypocrite, are you a hypocrite? You're a hypocrite if you don't support legalization. Hypocrites, baby. Hypocrites. So I'm on a delay of epic proportions here, having a jolly old time, because it might be time to get to work though here. See if let's see if I have anything left to give though. God damn it. Oh, we're still not seeing any. I think I can keep going one more song. One more song. One more song. Okay, take it easy, guys. No problem. One more song. All right. What's it going to be? Yeah, I just butchered that last one, but I don't know what was up with the chords. Let's see here. Any requests? Any requests? Let's go to my sent. Just see what I've sent out. Haha. And I played this. This is St. Patrick's. Let's see. Yeah. So. Okay, I'm going to play this one for you guys. Just need to kind of get my shit straight on it. Bastards. Means I need headphones to hear it. So, whiskey in a jar, okay? There, now finally the tune came in my head. All the hypocrisy, boycott, divest, sanction. The Irish made it a law. Okay. Our friends in Ireland, do you know what they are doing? They can see that Israel is causing strife and ruin. The Irish realize it's not the Jews that they despise. It's Netanyahu and soldiers with killing in their eyes. All the hypocrisy, boycott, divest, sanction. Boycott, divest, sanction. The Irish made it the law. That's right, they made it the law, the whole friggin' country of Ireland. God damn it, and this is the year we're gonna give them the blessing and the honors they deserve. If you count up all the money, it'll be a lot of dollars. The Jewish lobby getting mad. They start to fuss and holler. The lobbyists warn Congress that they, never would deceive them. It's a U.S. bill banning BDS is what the lobby did leave them. All the hypocrisy. Boycott, divest, sanction. Boycott, divest, sanction. They made it against the law. That's right. It's against the law to friggin' spend any money on Ireland. What do you say to that? You guys dig it? Okay. Obstacle legalization. Claymore X. Got more commenting here. The real obstacle to legalization is the levels of bureaucracy dedicated to prohibition. Exactly. Just like the levels of bureaucracy or media. How about the levels of the mass media devoted to endless war? It's another set in place thing, isn't it? Okay, we got Miss Strong. Big Pharma is lobbying hard. In my opinion, Big Pharma and Big Alcohol are worse. Hell yeah. Not just that. Claymore X. Honestly, a lot of people who would invest in pharmaceuticals will just as easily invest in commercial weed. Amen, brother. That's called a win-win. It's a win-win. I'm having a delay here with some systems delay. Is allowing me to extend this live stream. We now have more and more people fucking joining. What I'm trying to do is bring another perspective. Do you notice how this is an interesting thing? I'm going to criticize everybody the same way that like Michael Brooksy says every track is wrong. Remember how I said you got the Jimmy Dores are too green and the Tulsies are too green probably, and then the libertarians are too greedy. Or maybe Tulsi's like too confusing. She's like a libertarian but she's not a libertarian economically at all. So let's see here. Yeah, you don't get addicted to weed the same. Exactly. And it isn't. I mean, I drink a lot of alcohol sometimes. Yeah, factory farm. You know, the key with the reefer is that you can grow it yourself, and it's pretty fun to do, and you can get a high quality product, and it's easy to grow. So, with these LED lights and shit, I can show you all how. I can do that. It can be part of my service. Here's a good moment for me to just drop in to say Jimmy Reefer Cake on Patreon. Patreon Jimmy Reefer Cake. Please do it. Give me a couple patrons. Well, beer, I think the thing about beer is that I've made beer myself, and it seems like more work. Although, yeah, I mean, the thing about beer, having to clean all the bottles out when I bottled it. But you are correct. But I would say that with beer, there's plenty of good beer and varieties of beer. And there's also the giant factory beers. You know what I mean? So I'm not worried that the reefer industry is going to be a monster. But it's funny, in Ohio, and Cliff Schechter is now banished from. I've talked about me being banished from Majority Report for what reason we still don't know. But I banished Cliff Schechter from my list of friends of the cause. Ohio, they tried to pass a law there. It's fucking pathetic. It was basically like making the factory farm thing part of a law because it only gave a few people like the right. Anytime there's a law, you can see, and they voted it down because people don't like that. Yeah, Cliff Schechter's got a big problem with Bernie now, and he's got a huge problem with Tulsi. And it's the same thing, right? Kindler doesn't like Bernie either, but I like Kindler because he's funny. All right? Schechter is not funny. He's not that funny. And it looks like a fucking disaster, train wreck if Schechter tries to control the narrative. So, yes, I'm banned. I'm the Irish outlaw, banned from Majority Report, banned without even a hearing. Without even a hearing. See how people get banned from Twitter, and they have a bunch of people look at it, and then on Joe Rogan, you check that one out. You know, the lady in charge of all of the banning was there with Jack Dorsey. They have all these reasons why and what and da da da. You know, you have to be banned for a reason. And you guys all familiar with my banning? What do you perceive as the reason I got banned? Go ahead and chime in on the Jesus. Chime in there. I actually could use a beverage. Why don't you guys chime in on why you think I got banned, and I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Maybe I can get Mrs. Reefer Cake to come say hi. It's a good day. Yes. Anybody have an idea? There we go. Crickets. Nobody knows, says Miss Strong. They ban anyone too left wing. That's one theory. Yes, thank you, Larry. Kevin agrees. Claymore XL. Independent thought is forbidden on MR. You just have to toe their line of discussion, or they get pissy. To me, wasn't that funny? That was why I thought my appearances were always so funny. And because I was always needling them and often would get laughs. So I never wanted to toe the line. No. No, I never wanted to. I don't think anybody who really understood what it was all about. Yeah, Kevin Martinez makes the point of Tulsi. Tulsi really, really was. That's the thing I could tell, like a long time ago. The Tulsi, it was, and then they started. If you look at my streams here, it was like the way they dismissed her was really gross. Made me very more want to do more Tulsi. Like just say about somebody, oh, they meet with hate groups. They support hate groups and just kind of say it without explaining it. That's how they started. And that's Sam Seder. It's gross, dude. Really gross. I'm never going to fucking forget this bullshit. You know? What I learned. Miss Strong, the MR audience still loves you. Most were confused at what happened. I know. Thank you. They went on the deep end, and I was doing probably my best songs ever. It's just Brooks. Nobody who would want to have a discussion regarding different opinions wouldn't really want to go on there because there's no room for the gut. I know. It's like I think it's morphed. Claymore XL, because when I started this whole thing, it seemed like it was all about the attitude of Sam Seder. It was all about bringing on, conflict, because the humor and the interesting discussions that come in there. Bam. Larry Skywalker, I think the show changed instantly at the Kavanaugh hearing. They doubled their follower count and it went to their head. Yeah, and it's funny, I was there during that doubling of followers, wasn't I? And I had a fucking cool ass song called Kavanaugh Piss Off that I did with this great musician who now hates my guts because I like Tulsi. I love you, Adam Rainstopper, by the way. Don't you fret about Tulsi, Adam. Jesus, dude. Yeah, and it's exactly. I killed on that. I mean, it's funny. I love it, but it's The chat certainly changed. Yes, the chat is not welcoming. Thank you, Miss Strong. You know, and Matt Leck, again, a guy who's transformed. He's really taken. He believes strongly in the banning of people and like controlling a platform. And this is what I talk about in this stream is maybe the theme, along with the Irish and the alcohol and stuff like that. Miss Strong at the show. Yeah, the show followed to match the tone of the chat. It to me, I couldn't even believe how the Jimmy Dore thing stayed alive after the general election. Like, couldn't they just say revamp their strategy of how they think about stuff at that point? And but it's like everyone's jumping on the Rachel Maddow, the Mayday Mindy bandwagon. You guys check out Mayday Mindy on Twitter. You know what's up with that. I think it all started around the Jimmy Dore interview with the moon falling into a lake somewhere. So let's talk about that first interview and how I perceived it as happening is that, you know, Sammy, you can think that I really think Sam's a bad guy or something, but I don't. I think he's a pretty good show or whatever, but he acted poorly there. He goes, with the mixing up Alex Jones now with Jimmy Dore. With Jimmy Dore, Sammy was like, "You're being irresponsible," like calling someone else who is a fellow left-winger as they're debating strategies, that telling him he's, I think the word was irresponsible, because it's supposedly, you know, you had to support Hillary. You had to. And he did it with a contempt that makes no sense. Like, Jimmy Dore wasn't exactly saying nobody in a swing state. He was just saying he couldn't stand the Hillary, and he said that, you know, even if Trump wins, it's going to build a backlash, and it could hurt the Republicans if, of course, the left unites, which the left is not uniting. And I just say, I was trying to, my point was that I'm putting down all these different people in a way, but I'm trying to do it under a way to unite them, if you know what I'm saying. I'm calling them all equal. I'm giving everybody equal fucking judgment and treatment. But I have a goal behind what I'm doing. I don't think they do a lot of the times. They put down, and that came long ago, the idea of libertarian socialist. That was in my songs. This is 8 years ago or something. And I would always needle Sammy by putting libertarian in my songs to show how they support legalizing weed and other things like anti-war. But the way that Sammy sees the world is he wants to execute them. He wants them to be, their oxygen to be taken away and them to be just simply bad, labeled as bad. So, like, you know, that's not exactly, that's criticizing people in a different way, in my opinion. I think hypocrisy is, everybody has it, levels, and whatever. I'm trying to cover my ass here so I'm not a hypocrite. Oh no, it's EA96. What's up, buddy? Anyone explain to me why Cedars fans keep pestering Dave Rubin to talk with Sam? You see how that's funny, Clay, because it's you know why? It's like it's funny to me because now Miss Strong says amusement, and I think the show Rubin is not a liberal. Yeah. So it's like we said before, they don't want opposing views unless it's like this particular guy who they know they have a handle on, right? And they think they got the exact arguments figured out, and they want to come get him and make him look bad, and you know. And Rubin is more libertarian. See, I've seen him a few times. I don't really care about the Dave Rubin and just any of them. Jordan Peterson, I thought was funny at a point, kind of interesting. But classical liberal is what Ruben is. So, well, good. They could have a lot of people on. They could have H.A. Goodman on. I suggested they have H.A. Goodman on. I had H.A. Goodman on this channel. If you look down, it's there. H.A. Goodman on the Reefer Cake stream like a year ago or something. Year or more ago, I guess. And H.A. Goodman would happily debate, you see, but they don't want to do that, do they? And why is that? It's really, really funny, isn't it? I think that one of their things is that they are like, they all just want to go to someone with a bigger number because it's going to get their numbers bigger. So it's not that they care about really taking on a lot of people who are small, because that will grow them. They'd rather go for bigger people. So it's a very hypocritical, disingenuous way that they act, because they don't give a shit about the real arguments. They don't give a shit about my arguments put in my song because they're so fucking good. Apparently they can't even handle my arguments. I sing my arguments to them. I fucking sing arguments to these idiots. Oops, didn't mean to call you guys idiots. Sorry. The other day, let's see. Ruben is someone they can blow the fuck up on their show. Oh, yeah. Kevin Martinez, the other day, Am didn't even include the craziness about Ihan Omar that David Pacman was spewing. Does David Pacman do it? What? Anti-Semitic, right? David Pacman's horrible, Kevin. I can't even stand how snooty and just everything about him is. And that's the sneakiness of the Jewish lobby. Am I anti-Semitic? This is how the world works. Like, I'm so sick of this anti-Semitic fucking thing. Did you hear on the show when Brooks said I was an anti-Semite for some weird tweet that he analyzed, which clearly didn't say that? But like, if they want to say that Ilhan Omar is anti-Semite, then I certainly am too. Yeah, good. Because it doesn't. Guess what? How long is this going to work for these punks? How long is it going to work for these powerful people to claim they're the fucking victims? How long is that shit going to work? It's starting to get fucking seen through, isn't it? Miss Strong, I like how Pacman does interviews of people, though. He's not let them get away with shit. Okay. Wonder who that would be. What interview? Recommend a good one, Miss Strong. But what I saw him was, what was the last thing I saw? Maybe it was the Ilhan Omar thing. That was a Tulsi Gabbard smear. He had a real nice Tulsi smear where he was saying that because she had a job as an advisor to a place, which is a fucking what was it? One of those damn think tanks. That's the word. She's an advisor for a think tank, and that's who funded her trip to visit Assad. But that think tank is called. It basically says that's its goal. It's to fucking. I don't care. Maybe the Koch brothers funded this think tank, but the goal of it is anti-war and cooking. You see, that's how they do things. You think that the Koch brothers have if they're trying to control politics, does every single thing they want bad? Maybe they want anti-war, and that could be good too. It's very, very silly. Is Seder against Omar? Oh no, loves Omar. That's where Seder and Pacman. Like, I could never listen to Pacman or fuck with him. He's just too slimy. Seder, he's pretty good on Israel, and he's a Jew, of course. So I like that about Sammy. He's basically pro-Palestinian, to as much as pretty well. So I think, don't you guys think that? And that's this is where you have the reasons that I fucked with Seder all those years. fucked with in a good way, because he has most of his views are pretty decent. It's just when he gets into the strategy realm, and then when they all get into the insulting realm and can't draw the line between seeing, like, if somebody has, even if you don't like them, if somebody's going to work for an issue you agree with, you have no choice but to compliment them on that and give them, I mean, you have to. And that's why we can't get anything done from both sides. There's nothing to be, the insulting of a human being is only for the pleasure of you. Yeah, they like Omar, trust me. And that's the most frustrating thing, is because they talk out of both sides of their mouth, where you'd say, for example, Omar, this is when it comes to Tulsi, the most strong anti-war candidate who's going to get us out of this Saudi Arabia thing. And then a lot of people are like, but Tulsi supports Israel. Well, I don't know if she does in the way you guys think. Okay? I don't know. I don't think so, actually. I think her main thing is no regime change, which means no regime change. And how does that solve the Israel thing? Israel is a fucking apartheid state, right? Mm-hmm. A terrible salesman. Yeah, that's what Seder is, huh? It's weird, man. Again, I really appreciate you guys that when we, especially the part where we talked about why I got banned. Everyone, basically, I think we're all on the same page there. This is a function of people being scared. Even though it was funny, even though it provided drama, even though the show's numbers grew and grew, all right? Even though all that stuff, ban me. Michael Brooks wants to ban me because he can't handle when someone sings an argument at him and sings circles around him. Insta-ban for Syria support, right? Insta-ban for Syria. Insta-ban for all kinds of things. And that goes down to the Twitter stupidity, where it was funny, like how I realize it's just, we're going down the wrong direction. And I actually agree with that guy who's, Tim Pool, although he's definitely probably isn't my, on all issues, he's probably not exactly right in line with me, but I agree that that's exactly the wrong direction. You don't, we're policing our speech too much. We're just doing it too much, guys. I don't understand it, why things had to line up that way to give the right wing an advantage like that, and except to say that it's really, maybe the right wing and the left wing aren't even really different, the way that obviously a lot of people say, right? It's just both of them are funded by money, big money on both sides. If Cedar, Claymore XL, if Cedar sold cars, he'd sell me the best car at the best price. I would probably walk. Yeah. Well, they definitely didn't sell the way they banned me. It wasn't sold very well. I suggested they should have a vote, right? Vote me off, you fucks. Put a vote up on the majority Twitter. But anyway, I'm pretty pleased with how things are going. I really could use some support on Patreon, though, and I know I owe a song to people here or there. If you can become a Patreon, then I will write you a song. And any other? What we got here? Oh, maybe we're back. Okay, guys. Unfortunately, this is the end of a Reefer Cake live stream. Thanks, guys. Jimmy Reefer Cake on Patreon, Jimmy Reefer Cake on Twitter. And this was a good one for the record books. Pretty nice participation. And I bid you an awesome Friday. Peace.